Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
That's right. After a false start last week, as Ron and I were ready to record the episode early in the morning, since Ron's currently still in Beijing, early on the East Coast for us, apparently too early for one Mr. Michael Ferris to wake up on time and join us. So we apologize for this delay.
An hour and a half delay.
Premier League preview, as we have obviously already started matches. We were recording this on Sunday of Premier League kickoff weekend. And let's see, we got a few games left yet today that are still being played. Or actually, have we started already?
No, they start at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
So we're recording at 8:32 a.m. on the East Coast.
So we still have Newcastle and West Ham, and then Tottenham and Man City. That'll be a good one at 11:30.
Will Kane play or start?
Well, yeah, that is the question. So for this episode, of course, we're going to kick in with kind of just looking at the overall outlook for the upcoming season, as well as talk about our predictions. And just prior to recording again, we'll always, since we started this pod the year that Leicester won the Premier League, is our tradition to pick a Leicesterish, which is hard to say, prediction of what an underdog can do, unless Ferris screws up understanding that process and picks something stupid. But otherwise,
again.
Is this like a just bash on Ferris pod day?
Well, I feel like you fallen not waking up last time.
Depends.
It kind of set it
Depends how
up.
you play your cards, Ferris.
That's true, but don't worry. Wait till we get down to, where did Arsenal finish last year? 8th, and then we'll have plenty of time to turn the tables.
All right. All right, here we go. Well, first up, as is tradition, we need to get some beers out, beers of the pod. Currently, I'm actually drinking a Guinness Nitro cold brew coffee to perk me up, but that is not my beer of the pod. Are you gents ready to discuss which beers you have before we kick off this Brewtiful Game?
Well, we might as well do this bash Ferris fest in with my beer, and I will let you guys determine my fate of my beer.
Oh,
Hey,
so, and when you get up,
real quick, the way you say this is like, oh, poor me, I don't deserve such a grand ball buster. But in fact, you actually do.
That's fine. That's fair. But what would have helped me wake up, and what most people do when they wake up is they go to some source of caffeine, right?
yes.
So they either go to coffee or tea. Which of those two, they're being beer inspired, would you guys prefer that I drink today on Here, There, Beautiful Game Pod?
Well, being it's how it's the English Premier League, that's my vote too. That's my tea.
God bless you guys, 'cause I really don't want to do a 12.5% right now at 8:30 a.m. I'll be back.
Yeah.
He didn't even have it ready.
He wasn't even ready to record.
Oh,
This
man.
is.
He was so not ready. Go ahead. You go first, Blake.
Well, as I said, currently I'm almost through with my coffee mug filled with the Guinness Nitro Cold Brew, which is a highly effective beer and a little dangerous. But I do have something different for the actual episode. Ferris, are you back already? Are you ready to? Oh, we can do your tea beer.
So, from Angry Chair Brewing in Tampa Bay, Florida, I was there a few weeks back, and it is probably my favorite brewery in Tampa. It is fantastic. They have a lot of really, really good beers, a lot of high alcohol type beers as well, but very good styles. Angry Chair is, it's a little bit different, and they have beers like called The Rake and like horror inspired almost in certain beers that they do. But this one, when I was there a few weeks back, kind of struck my eye as it was one of the few that was not 8% and above. And it is called Tea Time. It is a black tea, Berliner Weiss. It is an Arnold Palmer drink-inspired sour ale.
That sounds awesome.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, Ron, when you get back from Beijing, dude, we have some breweries to go hit up that exist now that have sprung up since you left town. Man, there's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
This beer is absolutely fantastic. And like when you go to their site, it's angrychairbrewing.com, and it looks like you have this red demon devil looking thing in the background with Angry Chair, and then you could shop our gear, go to our beers, visit. It's a very, cool theme type, almost this like heavy metal type artwork on their stuff, but their beers are just fantastic. And they have all sorts, but I have had this beer. It is quite good. It's refreshing on a hot day in Florida, and it tastes like a alcoholic Arnold Palmer.
That sounds delightful.
Okay.
Well, I'll go next if you don't mind, Ron, because I also went Central Florida local. I picked these up the other week, actually going to get a beer with Ferris. They had these by the can, so I picked these up to do. But over at Crooked Can, Ron, so when you get back, one of our local breweries that we like a whole ton, they now have a new standard that they are canning that is going to make you very happy, Ron. This style used to be it was real popular for a hot second, and everybody was doing one, and we really liked it, but it's kind of faded off. So I was excited to see that this is a new standard they are canning, and that is a Riverbend Rye Pale Ale from Crooked Can.
Rye Pale Ale.
Rye Pale Ales are some of my favorite. The ones from Sierra Nevada that we used to get every year, but I haven't seen those in a bit.
Yeah.
Bear Republic.
We made
one.
We made a Rye Pale Ale out of Falconer's Flight.
Yep.
Is that right?
And then we also had the Bear Republic one that was so good. But this one here is a Rye Pale Ale made with 100% artisan malt, highlighting our partnership with Riverbend Malt House. Light-bodied and dry, this beer accents the unique terroir of southern-grown barley and heirloom rye from Riverbend, forging a connection between land, ingredients, and the beer you're about to experience. And just for those of you who may be wondering, Rye Pale Ale, if you've never tried it, it's a style of beer that's strong and hoppy, like an IPA, but it uses malted rye grains in the mash ingredients. So that kind of adds like a tangy, spicy character to the beer. Just so you know. So basically any beer could become a rye style. You're just substituting out some of the barley for rye. So there you go. Ryan, you're going to love this, dude. Yeah, when you come back, this beer's fantastic.
I can't wait. Should be always like me a rye.
Mm-hmm.
So my beer is made by a local Beijing brewery. I did not go local to Florida. I went local to Beijing. Founded in the summer of 2012, Slow Boat Brewing began as a small pilot brewery nestled in the mountains surrounding Beijing. The founders, Daniel Herbert and Chandler, I can't even pronounce his last name. Both Americans. They were long-term expats. They became friends at a craft beer homebrew club. And 2 years later, they started their own brewery just to bring kind of a North American style to Beijing breweries. So Slow Boat Brewing, this one is called Monkey's Fist IPA.
Oh, that's an awesome looking bottle.
Yep. And I figured I would stick with the monkey theme because Arsenal played like two monkeys in a football. So I figured I would go with Monkey Fist IPA. It's a mango IPA with a lot of citra hops and a lot of blood orange and pine flavors. 6.2 on the old ABVs. And if you're charting it at home, it's 50 IBU. It should be pretty, I'm going to say it's probably going to be very citrusy on the nose, but have a really medium body of like orange peel and maltiness in it. I'm pretty excited to give it a try.
That all sounds good.
Slow Boat's one of the breweries that we like from China that actually makes good beer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you've had that before.
I think the top two are Jing'e and Slow Boat.
So here's the question
for Beijing.
As you are getting ready to eventually head back to the States soon, are you going to be able to get any of that beer back toward us?
Oh, you just don't worry.
Oh,
hey, there he is.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah.
You just don't even worry about it. I'm going to bring you some good and then some less than good.
some interesting stuff.
It's no fun if every single one's amazing.
Hey, look, I still got 2 butternut beers left, so. Yep, ladies and gentlemen,
needs some cookie puss.
Yeah, I feel like we've gone too long.
I will do a cookie puss any day over anything from Butternuts Brewing.
I feel like for our dear listeners, we've gone too long since having a butternut beer, so that they know what we're talking about. Just suffice to say, it's one of the worst breweries that we've ever had. It will come back at some point, I'm sure.
Guys, it's the best brewery in Garrettsville, New York.
That's right,
because it's the only one in Garrettsville, New York.
The only one. And I've got, I actually have some really good stuff when you get back to Ron. I've been holding out for the show too. So I'm very excited for that. All right, gents, shall we try these beers?
Crack these?
Let's do it.
All right. Last episode, my beer exploded, so I'm nervous. I got towels over here.
And this sour is a 4.5%. So.
Oh my gosh, Ron. This smells like the beers we brewed, like the super fresh hops.
Oh,
God, this smells so good. Yeah. I don't know. A rye pale ale might be my desert island beer, I think. If you had to stick me with a style of the only one I could have, I think it's going to be a rye pale ale. It used to be an IPA from a company called Hayes. Remember Boulder? Was it Boulder Brewing? It was Hazed and Infused?
Hazed and Infused.
But that company's gone now, sadly enough.
I mean, Pacifico just screams island beer, so.
I just mean you're standing on a desert island. You get one beer type. That's it, right?
Oh, one beer type?
Yeah, I think I'd go.
Mine would probably be.
It'd still be Pacifico. Don't lie.
A West Coast style IPA. No, if you're getting one beer type, yeah, West Coast style IPA.
I'm just hoping that this beer doesn't continue to be like Arsenal and be just completely disappointing.
Do you know what I saw today?
Keep it going.
You guys were criticized by Rwanda's president. Yes. That name you have on like your left sleeve of your jersey that says visit Rwanda. Even he's like, screw that, man. The president of Rwanda has criticized Arsenal after they lost their opening match of the new season to Brentford. Paul Kagame whose government sponsors the Gunners, said fans deserve better than mediocrity. A team has to be built with purpose to win. Oops.
Sponsorships sliding away.
In trouble.
Like, what's the next thing that like, if you not visit Rwanda, where's Butternuts Brewing at?
Garrettsville, New York.
We'll see if Garrettsville, New York on the left.
We'll see if they get relegated down to the visit to Kissimmee that Fulham used to have or whatever on there.
Fulham had Visit Florida. I respect them for at least putting Visit Florida on there.
Oh, that's true. That's true. All right.
So how's your tea beer?
Cheers, gents.
Cheers.
Oh, sorry.
Let's launch it.
I'm ahead of myself.
I have had it before, so I can answer that fully. It is delightful. You would not like it very much because it is a sour.
Ron, I honestly think this is one of the better IPAs I've ever had because it's so freaking fresh too.
Nice.
We had a rye on when we first opened the tap room. It wasn't one of the better
over at Big
sellers,
Storm,
but it was those that got it every time they came in.
Over at Big Storm, you're talking about?
It was say what?
Over at Big Storm Brewery.
Yeah,
and you guys just got your Oktoberfest beers, and Big Storm has one of my favorite Oktoberfest.
It is very, very good. We have it on tap. We just got Steins in as well.
Yeah, I figured I'd wait till the next couple episodes to do an Oktoberfest.
Yeah, and then we have 4 packs to go. I can say that quietly though.
Oh man, so good. All right, gents. Are we ready to jump into this look ahead at the Premier League special? I know first though, Ferris.
Well, you have to play your little news alert thing. Don't you have that on the fun?
Wait a minute. Do I have one of those? Oh yeah, I got a news alert thing. Where is that?
Holy cookie puss!
There it is.
That's not the news alert.
Yep, that's Ferris.
Now.
Yeah. Oh no, here's the news alert. Did you just burp up good beer mixed with cookie puss beer? That will never get old. I love that. I love that tag.
Oh my god! Okay.
Breaking
Failed
news.
miserably.
Breaking news that isn't breaking. Here we are at our Liga's Roundup special before we get to our Premier League preview. And that
Long
is
story short,
Messi.
Messi is gone.
He gone.
He went to PSG.
Okay, can we just talk about the fact that the fair pay rules are done?
exist.
They don't exist.
Well,
the
unless you can
lineup.
skirt it like PSG is doing, because they are one of 3 clubs this year that have had signing on fees that basically helps pay the player in Bitcoin.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. As soon as it was clear that due to the mismanagement of Barcelona's and that under the fair play rules, technically, they could not keep Messi.
Well, but that's La Liga fair play rules.
Yes.
That's not UEFA's.
Right.
But
So,
back in 2012-13, La Liga basically had something that your wage bill couldn't exceed what the revenue coming in to the club was, or something to that extent.
And they needed something because it was literally Real Madrid or Barcelona every year. They needed something to shake that up. So
Yeah.
So
Well, and
but here's the thing. Like,
sorry, Blake, to hop on that real quick. Piqué just cut his wages in order to register and sign Depay and Eric Garcia to the Barca team.
it's a
Because
bit
if
ridiculous.
They wouldn't have anybody.
No, they wouldn't have anybody because and they've mismanaged things so badly. But the thing is, as soon as it became clear, and this is, and I know there've been a lot of articles about this. This is the saying, like, this is the dark future of world football ahead. So when it was announced that Messi definitely would have to be forced to leave Barcelona, what was that? Somebody beeping? Is that you, Ron?
Yes.
Oh,
That's Ron. Okay, I was about to say, I'm looking around my...
The problem was it was in my ears in such a way that I was like,
Yeah, same.
is my fire alarm going off? What's happening? It is that once it was announced that Messi could not return, the gross, disgusting side of current international football is this. Everybody said, well, is it going to be Man City or PSG that signs him? Because you've got those oil sheiks and barons that have all this money.
Right.
And they're the only two that could do it. And it was kind of gross that so quickly, in a cynical kind of way, I guess not even cynical, it just was the fact. Was it going to be Man City or was it going to be PSG? And that's just, man, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how things go forward, because already we've seen, I'm sure we'll talk about it with our Premier League preview, for a year where clubs have no money because of COVID and they didn't get to sell a lot of tickets and whatever. The money being spent on players is bonkers, like a huge jump. Like, what are they? Central Florida property? Guys, the housing market's really tough down here in Florida right now. That's what I'm trying to say there.
Oh, my God.
Well, it's one of those things that even with Messi being paid, what is he being paid? For 2 years, 41 million or thereabouts with add-ons and yada, 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 possibility of extending it to a third.
On a free.
Correct. And he went on a free, correct, because he was technically a free agent, which is kind of just weird in general that Messi would become a free agent. Like, that doesn't seem like it's in the realm of possibility. Like, you want to get something for it, whether it's a transfer fee or a player in return. But nonetheless, Barca's poor mismanagement led them to this. And even at 41 million a year, that is significantly less than what he was making at Barca for the last few years that he was there.
It points out their problems.
Right.
Correct. That's now he couldn't. You're probably thinking at home, why couldn't he have just done that at Barca? Because they are so mismanaged. He could have played for zero, and they still would not have been able to register him as a player because of how over their particular, I'm gonna call it salary cap, but it's essentially what Liga kind of instituted. They are so far over the cap, and that's why you saw yesterday Gerard Piqué cutting his wages significantly in order just to register the Depay signing that they had, which was on a free, but they couldn't even have registered him in his salary without Piqué taking a cut. I think it was him, Eric Garcia, and a Barca B player. So you sit there at home and think, well, what Barca is doing in the tactic of them pushing it away and going, it's La Liga's fault, it's La Liga's fault. No, that's bullshit, because Barca And the rest of the league knew this rule. It's not like it was a new rule enacted during COVID. No, this rule's been around since the 2012-2013 season. So,
and much like they have run,
that's poor financial management.
I don't even call it poor financial management. It's worse than that. It literally feels like sticking your head in the sand and just ignoring it.
Yeah, and thinking we're this and that, and we don't have to worry about this. Well, no, you just lost arguably the greatest player to ever play and never wanted to leave and grew up. He's been at Barca for 2 decades.
And think about this too. A guy that like he was distraught because overnight, like his family, everything, he has to completely uproot, completely unplanned. You know what I mean? Like it was settled. He was going to stay in Barca, and like, what a weird situation. Now, how about these apples? If Pochettino cannot win, because he didn't last year, if he can't win in France with this team, I know it was amazing.
Huge failure.
I know. Yeah, I know it's amazing.
It's Champions League or bust. It doesn't matter on the league title. It's Champions League or bust. If this team does not win the Champions League, it is a failure.
What he did to get Tottenham up was amazing. But man, but he could never seal the deal, right? Well, yeah, with this, you almost have to be like, wow, I can't believe I'm managing all these amazing players. But yeah, if you don't win the Champions League, if you don't win your league, oh man, it just looks like you are a real rebuild guy only. Maybe he should go be an amazing technical director at a club or something. But he cannot finish. He can't.
Hey, there might be an opening in London soon.
Now that's a conversation to be had. I think
back to the Premier League vortex.
Even amongst fans, Edu is more hated than Arteta at this point.
The question is it really worth the money? You put all these people together, even Messi's salary cut from 168 million a year to 41 million a year. Are you really going to make that money up?
I don't think you're going to. Maybe in some jersey sales.
On a 2-year deal, you're not going to become a dynasty. It just doesn't financially. I don't know that it's the smartest thing in the world to do.
I mean,
if you win,
what does it matter though? Because you're talking about owners that have so much money. Ron, you just said something in a realistic way. They have unbelievable funds. So I don't know that it matters. My daughter completely agrees. She has brought her stuffed Sonic in.
I'm on your lap, Dad.
I know you are.
Yes. Did you like my chocolate?
I love your Sonic the Hedgehog toy, and I wish he played for Arsenal.
Yeah, and
you could use him.
Yeah, you could use somebody with wheels.
Right?
Yeah, if he played at Arsenal, we might have scored against a newly promoted team.
And I want it.
Yeah, I want it too.
And chocolate is right here.
Guys, it's the future of the Brewtiful Game.
Love it.
Awesome.
The toy.
We just have to wait till she's 21
Daddy,
to do the first half of the show.
Daddy,
right.
Cyclo's like a Woody toy.
He is?
Yeah, and Cyclo's not talking.
I don't know if you caught that. He's like a Woody toy, but he's not talking like Toy Story. I don't know why he's not talking.
That's blue like him, and that's
because he should just run. Something
like
that Arsenal need to learn.
That's blue like him.
He should just shut up and run.
Yep.
I love that Sonic the Hedgehog shows up in here, and it becomes an Arsenal bashing session again.
100%.
Yeah. But getting back to the Messi thing here. So they sold out. Everybody says, you're going to sell out so much paraphernalia and all that kind of stuff, kits and all that.
His kit sold out in like half an hour or something?
Yeah, it was 30 minutes, which, okay. They were selling for 128 US. And even if you sold, let's say you had 10,000 of them ready, right? You only made just over $1 million US. So if you don't keep him for a bit and continuously win Champions League and win the French League, this is all a waste.
Well, yes. I mean, you have to win. I agree. I mean, I agree on that last point. But so the Paris Saint-Germain is owned by Qatar Sports Investments. Dude, they have so much money. I don't know that your money part of it matters. I mean, I think the prestige of winning does, obviously, but I don't think the finances of selling the jerseys, I don't think they care.
Well, that may be. However, just keep in mind that, 20 years ago, Barca was printing money.
Well, that's
right?
true.
And their ownership was printing money. Look where they are now. So I think the old days of we have more money than God, we don't have to worry about it, are more than over. Because if you can't sell tickets to the game and you can't win, you're not making money. It doesn't matter who you are.
But I'm looking at this Qatar Sports Investments, dude, and I think actually have so much money it doesn't matter. It's because these are like folks with just ridiculous amounts of money.
At some point, it does matter. To Ron's point, you can't just spend, and win the French league, which isn't going to pay for sponsors. For Christ's sake, it's the Uber Eats French league,
right?
That's
my point.
They can afford Mark Hamill,
Champions League,
and
or
Patrick
bust,
Stewart.
That's where the money's at now. If we could do a whole separate pod on this and get somebody in that could speak much more intelligently than any of us. Afton probably knows more about all of this than us, but the more money aspect with the Champions League, that's essentially what the Super League was. It was their fight against the UEFA Champions League and trying to get more money. So even then, these leagues and these clubs don't feel like the UEFA hierarchy, I can't remember the gentleman that's over it right now, are doing enough to get them enough money when they win or when they're in this tournament.
Right. That's why they joined the Super League in the first place.
Right. It was trying to get more money for themselves. That was backed by JP Morgan and Chase and so on and so forth. But at the very least, to recoup any sort of funds, and yes, it's not really going to bother the Qatari cash that much, but they need to win Champions League. That's the only way that this venture is a super team. Like if LeBron, D Wade, and Bosch didn't win down in Miami several years back, that would have been deemed a failure. If Kobe and Shaq didn't win a championship, that would have been deemed a failure because they're building the super team.
Sure,
that
but
if they don't win at all.
But with salary caps, it was a limited time thing, right? So with this though, like this actually brings the Super League. Okay, I'm going to say something weird. For some of the teams that were linked into becoming part of the Super League, this Messi situation, both ways, actually illustrates what some of those teams thought they should go ahead and join a Super League because they were worried about. Right. They were worried about like the ridiculous money of the PSGs, the Man Cities. Like they were so worried about their ability to just go hog wild that if they didn't join something like the Super League and get that extra money, they were going to get left in the dust. Now, again, some of your other leagues, teams, not necessarily like, not PSG. I'm talking about what have you, but some of those other clubs that were included in that Super League, that was the thought, that's why they wanted to do that.
I don't know. I think the bigger reason for the Super League teams was because when you go play all these tournaments...
Hold on one second, guys. Hold on one second here.
That eerily sounds familiar. It sounds like, maybe, I don't know, Lacazette or Aubameyang. I'm unwell. I don't want to play on Saturday or Friday. Once again, run it right back to Arsenal.
I'll be done in just a minute. Oh my God, I can't wait. I'm lifting all this off and I'm going to find some sound cues for it.
Is that how Arteta's going to leave Arsenal?
Yep. Somebody carrying him out.
I don't want to leave.
Oh man, I'm going to lift that section out because that became messy. But then you go and say stuff like that, Ferris, and it kind of makes me want to keep it. How appropriate my daughter busts in on the Messi situation that we're talking about. Because I think that's kind of the your joke shouldn't have been about Arteta. Actually, I think that was Messi on his way out as well. He was pretty PO'd about that. Who wants to go live in Paris? What a garbage city to have to go get $41 million in a year. So here's the thing. He's in Paris for 2 years. Where does he go then?
I think he's going to end up staying there for a while.
You think he'll stay longer than the 2?
Yeah, likely.
You think
Inter Miami? Here he comes.
I think he'll be there for 2 years, and then I think on a cheap, he'll go back to Barcelona and finish out and retire.
That would be poetic, but that's not life. He's going to pull like a Brett Favre and then first go to wherever Brett Favre went and then end up at the Jets when his career is done, which the Jets are pretty much like Inter Miami because they both blow ass. So that's where he's going to go.
Oh my God. That's
just lost any Miami fans or
it's either that or he's going to do his 2 and then go to Man City. There's no other places that can afford it.
When he's 40?
Right.
He's not, but he's not Tom Brady. Like, I don't think he's not going to be able to play in the Premier League.
Yeah, that's
and on a Tuesday night in Stoke, for Man City when he's 40, the same way. He's wonderful. He's great, but there's a reason he didn't come to Premier League this time because he doesn't want to do that. Because he's a player that is a luxury player. Oh, get in Newcastle first goal 4 minutes in. Callum Wilson.
Good. He's on my fantasy team.
Attaboy. But he, that for me, the argument of the Ronaldo and Messi goes back to his inability. Well, Ronaldo's done it in the Premier League, in the Italian League, in La Liga, in the Portuguese League. Yeah, kudos for staying at Barca and winning everything you could. You also had some insanely good teams there between Xavi and Puyol, and you could go on and on. But he had a chance to kind of rewrite that a bit. And instead, he does what a LeBron did. Joins a super team somewhere else in a league that is a cupcake league in terms of...
Cupcake league.
It is though.
It's true though.
Right. You don't have it's not a top 3 league in Europe.
The Spanish league is a cupcake league now.
But they're at least in the top 3 of if you're going through the European leagues. They're in that conversation of top 3, or if you even if you want to go a Premier League style in top 4, it's Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, and Bundesliga. The French league's on the outside looking in, and there are several people that could argue that the Portuguese league is better than
the league. Looking at the Champions League history, you got some backup to that. It's just again, it's a weird situation, and I'm curious to see how it all shakes out. I think the Qatar Sports Investment have so much money. It sounds more like showing off than trying to really win something. Because that team at PSG is insane. The fact they didn't win the French league is crazy with the talent they have on it. So, yeah. I don't know that Messi is your difference in winning that league. I feel like, if he is, it means
not winning that league.
You win it by a lot of points, and you have to win Champions League.
I cannot wait to see the first Messi Uber Eats commercial.
Messi, Patrick Stewart, and Mark Hamill.
Done.
Can't wait.
Done.
Love it. All right, gents, shall we move on to looking at the Premier League world?
Let's do it.
Oh boy, it's back.
It's back. It is weird. Usually I feel like we have this long gap. And the few months that Premier League doesn't exist feels so epic, but I guess things like the Olympics and whatever kind of carried it through a little bit, so it didn't feel like we had gone that long.
Yeah, the Olympics was a pretty good tournament for both the men and the ladies.
Yeah,
Brazil won for the men and Canada won for the women.
Yep, and
Canadian win gold.
The reaction of if you follow any NWSL players and stuff, it's so funny, the awesome reactions of the Australians or Americans who are rooting on their Canadian teammates from their NWSL teams was pretty awesome. It was just cool. It was very Olympian in the sense of like, the Olympics, you don't have that sort of FU root this, situation on, it's much more like coming together kind of thing. And it felt that way on NWSL social media if you watched any of it or kept up with any of it.
Yeah, good tournament all around.
But that kind of bridged the gap. It made Premier League not feel so very far away. So how do you want to break this down, Ferris? I know you've kind of got it written down our where the table ended at last year.
Mm-hmm. Just run right down. We'll start with top to bottom in terms of how they finished, and just kind of reminding people of who their manager is, as there are a few teams that have changed that at this point, and some notable ins and outs, and then a question for the season. I
love it. Okay, so first up, we have Manchester City. They finished on 86 points, which is 50. No, how many? They were at 99 last year?
No, because Liverpool
won. Sorry.
A few years back, they hit 99. I think it was 2 seasons ago.
Overall, all the points, not as many points this go around, but I think a lot of that ties into the sort of empty stadiums, COVID craziness that this season dealt with. But their manager, Pep Guardiola, still there. Notable ends. I mean, really, the news of the entire transfer market, right, was Jack Grealish. Like everybody
thus far, wanted Jack.
Which
the Premier League, that is. Obviously, we just talked about the.
But he went for a lot of money, and that's something that will be a reoccurring theme. Was Jack Grealish's over 120 pounds?
I think with the add-ons, it's going to be somewhere in that range.
Yeah, it was pretty bonkers. Like a lot of money. And then notable outs, of course, Sergio Aguero, which Pep Guardiola had a very tear-filled post match conversation about. Eric Garcia and Jack, who went to Barcelona. Sergio Aguero also went to Barcelona. Barcelona still has a lot of good players, by the way, without Messi. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're not complete.
And then Jack Harrison over to Leeds. And then your question,
which that Jack Harrison was permanent. He was on loan to Leeds for the past 3 seasons, but that was made permanent.
Hey, just so you're aware, Jack Grealish is the 4th highest paid player this season with $15.6 million a year.
Right. What was his total? Did he have the total?
I think he's the highest English transfer.
Yeah, for sure.
That occurred.
And the question of the season is, will Pep finally win the Champions League with City?
If they get Harry Kane, yes. If not,
I guess that thing is still out there, huh? That Grealish and Harry Kane could break the banks, not for Man City, obviously, but just in terms of ratcheting the overall cost of so many players up. Do you think Harry Kane's go? It feels like he might not go.
I don't know how. How do
if Tottenham thinks they can get 125 million pounds from him? How do you not take it?
City? How do they do that and balance their wage book? How? I just don't. In my mind, somebody have to explain.
They already got in trouble.
Qatari money as well, and they have oil money, but they have. They're not on the most profitable club list. They're not when Forbes comes out with the sports teams, they're not up there. So how are they paying? So that's $100-some mil for the transfer fee. That's not even his wages per week. And Ryan said he's 3rd in the Premier League now on wages.
Wait, who? Harry Kane?
No, Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish? Oh, Jack Grealish, 4th, $15.6 million a year.
Then you're going to add Harry Kane on. Guess what? He ain't going to be cheap.
No,
you're going to spend 100, and you're going to spend another. They're going to spend over 200, possibly 300 million pounds for 2 players, plus wages, where they're all being paid either 400 to 600K a week.
So at the
moment,
how
can they afford that?
Harry Kane isn't even in the top 10 for this year.
What I guarantee he'd be in the top 5 if he goes to City.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If he goes, especially also being an English player, so he gets that premium tacked onto him. Yeah. No. I mean, that was the conversation. Is he'd be well over 100 million if he goes. So we'll see what Man City does. They don't have Aguero, but Will they win the Champions League? I don't predict them to win the Champions League.
I don't either. It's just such a crazy tournament that I know Pep wants that really, really bad, but I like Jack Grealish, but unless they get a number 9, I don't know if that false 10 can really push them over the hump. When you think of like Barca playing a false 9 for as many years as they did, they still had a number 9, right? It was either Suarez or it was David Villa back in the day, or it was Samuel Eto'o. I mean, you had somebody that wasn't. All they have is Gabriel Jesus. There's no Aguero there anymore. So that's why I like the Grealish signing for them, but I don't like the Grealish signing for them because it's not. They could have put that 100 and some mil for Harry Kane and not Grealish because they have.
It does feel like
to Grealish.
If you were going to drop the money to get your 9, would have made more sense than Grealish. And that's no knock on Grealish. It's just that they, as you said, they kind of have players to cover that spot right now. So I agree with that.
And there's an argument that the Grealish is the David Silva for Pep. Because they're saying, well, how are De Bruyne and Jack Grealish going to play together? Well, David Silva and De Bruyne play together for years just fine. So, yeah, I think it can work in that style. But then you're ditching your idea of your style of play with that false 9. Where if that's what you're going with, Aguero, who gave you that option to play a 4-3-3 or any other formation with a number 9 up front. You can still do that, but you're not going to do that on a high level anymore if you want to switch up tactics unless you get a Harry Kane. So I just think that Harry Kane would have offered them more options tactic-wise into various types of games, which you have to play in the Champions League. You can't just play only your style there.
And the other interesting side of this will be Jack Grealish is someone who, if he gets subbed off with 3 minutes left to play, gets real angry. And he's going to a club, he's not going to play all the time.
Who? Jack Grealish?
Yeah.
Oh, he'll play.
No. He's going to play,
like,
dude. But he's one of those guys that like pitches a fit and gets angry when he gets pulled off in games, and he is not going to play as much as if he were at Aston Villa or anywhere else. I think, for that matter, he's going to get rotated out a lot. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that I agree with a lot of the things you said, but I'm also going to throw in the fact that I don't think they win because of injury. They have a lot of players who are injury prone. Grealish is injury prone. He can look at a football and pulls a hamstring or busts an ankle, or
so's Kane to an extent.
Well, yeah.
Right. So, like, you're going to bring in all these players, and I think you're going to have a bit of a Swiss cheese team by the end of it because you're going to have a ton of injury. They're just injury prone people. Let's make it clear, I don't wish anybody injury, right? But they have the Man City teams, they're injury prone. And they're bringing in 1, maybe 2 more injury prone players. If they can agree to the latest news for Harry Kane is that Tottenham's chairman, Daniel Levy, is holding out for $160 million transfer fee.
And honestly, as should he.
I agree.
That's you could bash Levy for not allowing Kane to leave and being selfish and whatnot. Well, he's trying to run a business, and for his business, Kane's the biggest asset for his business. So you got to pay up to get him.
So just keep this in mind. The reason I think $160 million transfer fee is okay is because at this time, Tottenham Hotspur is the biggest club in all of football with the most amount of debt.
Yeah. They're going to offload. That's the thing is if they get the offers, I think they will easily offload some people.
831 million pounds in financial debt. They are 140 million pounds in transfer debt. And then they have 207 in, quote, other debt. That's a lot of money. So it makes sense that they're going to try and hold out for a player of Harry Kane's ability for as much money as they can get him for.
Well, with that, we should probably push forward because we do have 19 other teams to get through.
I guess that's fair.
And so we should probably push on ahead. Although I just think that there was more conversation. Obviously, I think the Grealish thing was going to precipitate a little more conversation. But next up, finishing second on 74 points is Manchester United from last year. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is our manager of note, Mr. Ole. Notable end, Jadon Sancho from Dortmund and Rafael Varane. Is it Varane? Varane.
It's Varane.
Just Varane?
Yep.
From Real Madrid.
He was just introduced to or officially announced in a very cool way.
Yeah.
It came out pre-match to the Old Trafford faithful that were back in attendance for the first time and holding up a jersey and a nice cut suit, of course, as you would do. But there was a little bit of delay in that due to quarantining and visas and yada, yada, yada. United really didn't let anybody go of that much. Sergio Romero was released with bringing back Tom Heaton this year and having Dean Henderson and obviously De Gea. You're set on the goalies in terms of your top tier, and then a young player, Palestri, who I think in years down the road could be good for United, is on loan to Deportivo Alaves, so he'll get plenty of time there and continue to work on his game. And the question, will the new big name signings help United to end at the top of the table come May?
Yes.
You think that's where they're going to end?
Top of?
Is it? I think as much as it pains me to say it.
Number one overall.
As much as it pains me to say it, I think so.
I mean, we'll get to those predictions, but I don't agree.
I think. Now it's not could they? It's will they?
Mm-hmm.
I think they can, and I think they will. I do. I'm not saying Champions League is going to be strong, but they weren't. They were up until February last year. They were up there with City, and they aren't. Are those two players 12 points change? Possibly. So, based on that, I think they will.
Well, we'll get to predictions, but I'm not being facetious or I just don't not yet. I feel like not yet, which is different than saying no way in hell. I just mean I don't think not yet, based on what's on the table. I think some of it leans into what happens. Does a Man City get a Harry Kane or something like that? I think that's to me where it's hard to answer because there's some other things I think we need to finish seeing fall in place in the Premier League. This moves us to Liverpool, finished on 69 points. Nice. They are.
How very 12 years old of you.
I know, right?
They are. So Jurgen Klopp is your manager. Your noticeable end is Ibrahima Konate from RB Leipzig. Notable outs. This is the big one, I think. Wijnaldum to PSG, Harry Wilson to Fulham. And that kind of goes to your question. Will the new defensive pairing of Konate and Van Dijk help return Liverpool to Premier League champions?
Nope.
I don't think so. I think what you just said of sneaky with Giorgio Wilnight. I cannot say that right now. Wijnaldum, thank you. Going is a huge loss because who do they have in midfield right now? They beefed up on the defense and a very good center back pairing with that Chiante and and Van Dijk back. But I don't think that... I just don't think they have the midfield to compete at the higher levels. That's what I think is kind of crappy.
Yeah, I think their best midfielder right now, Jordan Henderson, maybe. It's probably their better midfielder.
I think Thiago, when he's fit, is probably their best midfielder that's in there. But they just don't have, like, what Wijnaldum, I cannot say that for some reason today. Wijnaldum did was, he was a box-to-box. He was essentially Liverpool's Gundogan for them, right? Like, he just worked so hard and was just so box-to-box, was defensively sound, was good on the ball, saw the field well, worked hard, and you lose that for a free. While he wasn't the main player for them, because you're thinking of the likes of Salah and Firmino and Jota and so on and so forth, he was crucial to them. And I don't think that they've replaced that or have a replacement there that is enough for them to get the top spot in the Premier League.
Yeah, I guess it really comes down to what their midfielders need to do. Do they need to protect the back four and provide that cushion, or do they need to be more on the attacking side, right? Because your Jordan Hendersons, your Naby Keitas, your Oxlade-Chamberlains to a point. I'll take Oxlade-Chamberlain out of it. Those are the only guys that are going to help kind of soft protect the back line. If you need attacking midfielders, you're going to bring on the Shaqiri, who's not a player you can use every day in your starting lineup. You bring him on when you need a spark to the team. And then you use Oxlade-Chamberlain, who has a good left foot. But I don't know that he's all that on the attacking side. So, yeah, I think I agree with you. The midfield is a bit of a quandary.
Nice word.
Good word. Good word. All right. Well, to keep us on, I'm moving on to Ron's boys in blue, Chelsea FC. They ended 4th last year with a finish on 67 points. Nice, -2. Managers, Thomas Tuchel. Notable wins are the big ones just down. Updated. Yep. Romelu Lukaku. And outs are Olivier Giroud. The quad got a little less sexy. And Billy Gilmore. Giroud to AC Milan and Billy Gilmore on loan to Norwich. Will the current Championship League's winners win the league now that you've got someone like Romelu Lukaku? Ron?
No. I want to say yes so bad, but I don't think so. I think Lukaku is probably the perfect choice of the striker who will hold up the ball for you so that people like Mount and Pulisic and Havertz and the huge amount of people that we have on our attacking side can buzz around him, and create other chances while Lukaku is, trying to score on his own, but also pulling defenders and things like that. But my hunch is Timo Werner needs to have a spectacular season with Romelu Lukaku and the current setup in order for us to win the league. I don't think Timo Werner's got it.
To me, that opens an interesting question, which is, I feel like before this transfer window closes, they could sell Werner.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to keep him because he can also play off to like the left wing. I think if for Chelsea, it has nothing to do necessarily with the attack. Yeah, I want Werner to be good. I honestly do. I just think he's been complete shite since he's been in the Premier League. But I don't think he's your biggest problem.
No, that's true.
I think your biggest problem is your back line. I don't think that's strong enough to get you to the top and stay at the top of the Premier League.
I agree. I think I stand by what I said earlier from an attacking standpoint. I think our midfield is still probably one of the better midfields in the entire Premier League, if not Europe. But I do agree that we have a bit of a weak back line, and starting that weak back line is Rudiger. Rudiger's constantly caught out of position, and most of the time he is able to rely on his wheels to get him back into a position to be somewhat useful. But when you start going up against the talent that Manchester United has, you're not going to be able to get back into position fast enough.
Well, he had a good Euros. But he is one of what I could see 4 center backs on the roster right now. Rudiger, Christensen, Thiago Silva, and Zuma. Zuma's being rumored to be offloaded. Silva's 36. Christensen's not half bad, but never really played a starting role for Chelsea in that center back position. Azpilicueta can play back there, but I just don't know if that defense will hold for an entire 38 game season to get them to top spot.
And Champions League.
And Champions League, correct. To repeat, if that's the goal.
Well, either way, you're still competing in it, right? So you have more than just the Premier League team or Premier League matches that you got to worry about.
Has the Arsenal fan going to be the only one that says this? I totally think they're going to win the Premier League because of Thomas Tuchel. I think managers can be the difference in winning in the league, and I think he is exceptional. And I do think they can do it. I think they can do it with him at the helm. I think the deficiencies you talk about are real, but I think he's one of those managers that can manage around it.
Ooh, it's a big ass.
Well, I mean,
I think the dude's good.
We'll see what happens in the rest of the transfer window.
I don't even think Lukaku, if Lukaku had come to any other club, I'd be like, look, he's kind of a poacher. I don't know, but he fits Tuchel's setup very well. So
I agree with that.
I don't know, man. I think you guys have a really good manager. So, and you got good players.
I'm not saying we're gonna tank this season by any stretch. I just don't think we are gonna have the ability to hold up for Champions League and the Premier League and win the league. Now, I'll be ecstatic if we do, and let's see what happens in the rest of the summer transfer window and then the winter transfer window, and maybe some of our weaknesses get shored up in that, and then let's go. But as it stands now, I think we're going to be a high-flying scoring team, but I think we're going to be a team that has to outscore our opponents.
Yeah.
On the
I don't disagree with you, Ron.
When we're playing the top half of the table, right? Like, when we're playing the lower half, it's going to be easy to just grind teams down, especially with the ball control. Like you watched the first match when we played Crystal Palace yesterday, and Tuchel's presence is huge. How much they played out of the back. They didn't panic under pressure. They played a lot of quick passes to each other to get themselves out of pressure, and they ended up making a lot out of that. So that part I'm not really worried about. I agree with Ferris that we need to have a bit better, a stronger defense, and we need Timo Werner to stop dragging balls just wide of the post.
I'll disagree with you.
Boom. All right, moving on. Leicester City FC ended in 5th, finished on 66 points. Manager Brendan Rodgers. Notable ends, Yannick Vestergaard, I think I got that right, Southampton. Ryan Bertrand, Southampton. Ferris, help me out here. You're good with the...
Okay. Bubakari Samari?
Boom. You can't say Wijnaldum, but you got Bubakari. All right.
That's even how you say it. I could possibly could have just made that up.
And Patson Kaka.
Kaka? Good for them.
From RB Salzburg. Notable outs, Wes Morgan's retired. You don't get to see that very often. Mm-hmm. And Christian Fuchs is he going to Charlotte FC?
Yes, once they open.
Man, I wish he was coming.
First signing.
I wish he was coming to Orlando. I like that dude.
Yeah, I like Fuchs.
Yeah, that'll be so fun.
And then, speaking of, I got a friend from Carolina who is coming to visit in September, and he's bringing me their debut scarf from Charlotte since I'm from North Carolina.
That's awesome. Very cool. Yeah,
very excited for that. We're going to do a little scarf exchange. But anyway, so their big question, will Leicester City bring Champions League football back to King Power next season?
Short answer, yes.
I think it is possible, but my prediction is it is a tough fight because I think it's going to be like the 4th spot, not like the 2nd or 3rd. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a 2 of the wire kind of thing. They could do it, but I don't see it being a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. I think it's 4th, and they got to fight for that spot.
I agree. I think they're going to have to fight pretty hard for that spot.
And not a knock on them. I think it's just who's in the tops are good. You know what I mean? Leicester's doing great.
They barely missed out. It came down to the last day. I think they've only strengthened and not decreased. And Jamie Vardy's still scoring goals, and that might be the thing that kind of hinders them. But if Barnes can stay healthy and if they can hang on to James Maddison, then they can finish in the Champions League.
Oh, that's a big question when we get to the Arsenal one. That's like the rumor that won't die. The Madison thing, at however much they rate him at 80 million or whatever. I don't, right. He's great. I don't think any club should be dropping that right now, but so much money anyway that's being thrown around.
The English premium.
The English premium. Over to West Ham, they finished on 65 points. The manager, the wonderful David Moyes. Notable ends, Terry Nevers over to Reading, Alphonse Areola to PSG. Notable outs, Felipe Anderson to Lazio. Without Lingard, can West Ham finish better than last year and get into the top 4? No.
Remember that was a big signing for them. That propelled them. So I'm not saying that. I'm not the biggest Lingard fan, but I'm not asking that in a cheeky way. I'm asking that as well. They kind of lost that creativity. I don't think they can get into the top 4. No, I think 6th, 7th, 8th. That's right up to their wheelhouse on where they can hope to finish and maybe make a good cup run throughout the year. But that's it.
I concur.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think he's going to. I don't think they're going to make it.
Moving on along, as we'll pick up the pace here, Tottenham Hotspur, they finished on 62 points in 7th. Manager is Nuno Espirito Santo, who, wow, that took forever to formally get him as the manager.
It was like their 15th choice.
Yes, famously. So notable ends are obviously the manager, Brian Gill from Sevilla, and Christian Romero from Atalanta, which I always have to read that in my head first before I say it out loud. Right. Notable outs are Danny Rose. That's a tough one to Watford. Eric Lamela to Sevilla, and Toby Alderweireld to Al Duali. Al Dual?
Yeah, it's a Qatari team, I think.
Will Tottenham hang on to Harry Kane all season? We kind of talked about that. I think can I reverse this question since we kind of talked about that a little bit? Provide a different one.
Sure.
Are they able to get into the top 4?
No.
I don't think by a long shot either. We've already talked about Harry Kane. So
I think it's going to be. I think they're going to be hanging on to the top 6 by fingernails.
I think they'll finish about 6th or 5th. I think Nuno is a formidable and good manager, especially in this league. But even with Kane, I don't think they're strong enough to kind of really compete with definitely Man City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool, and even throw Leicester in there. So
I mean, there's no depth.
No depth. A good squad, better than he had at Wolves for several years. But
Sure.
if they have Kane, they'll finish somewhere in the 6th, 5th, 7th range. If they don't have Kane, probably somewhere in the top 10.
Yeah. I think that's not even being like a F Spurs situation. As an Arsenal fan, I completely agree with that. I think if they do not have Kane, that really changes things. I think Son will have a really great fantasy year, but if that happens, but I don't think I don't think top 7 would be hard to pull off, and it starts looking more like top 8, 9, 10. I agree with that. Speaking of, moving on to 8, Arsenal, they finished on 61 points. Manager Mikel Arteta, notable ends Lukonga from Anderlecht and Ben White from Brighton. Notable outs, Joe Willock, that just happened, permanent sign to Newcastle. David Luiz was released, and Matteo Guendouzi is on loan to Marseille. Somebody else is on loan too, but they were on a loan last year, so it not really an out. And then question season, will Arteta be manager of Arsenal at the end of the season?
Hell no.
Nope.
He may not even make it to the first international break coming up in September.
You know how I can tell you guys aren't Arsenal fans?
Because we don't look at the world through rose-colored glasses.
No. See, it's actually the absolute
2-1 Newcastle.
Dude,
sorry.
No.
What a game.
It's absolutely the reverse of that. You guys are answering that question in a realistic world of football, not as an Arsenal fan who knows that if it is guaranteed proven that Mikel Arteta should be sacked by a certain point, he will last way too long over there. And they will not get rid of that. Is how that
not
rolls.
Wrong on that aspect.
See, there you go. It's not even I'm not even putting a positive spin on it. I'm saying it'll be like that situation of like you watch. They'll be terrible, but they'll be like the FA Cup final or something, and he'll limp right through. Like that. That is how that crap works. Or like it'll be the Carabao Cup. It'll be the EFL. You know, like something like that.
Arteta out.
I think the big thing with them watching Arsenal is like a very good explanation of what I'm looking at, example of what's going on with the COVID money as it occurred, because they can't offload players because the clubs that can afford are throwing big money down on moving people, right? But if you've got players that you'd like to sell for 15 to 20 million, the clubs that would love to pick these people up, they are so strapped for cash, they're not buying. So it's a very interesting transfer market right now.
No, but there's nobody on Arsenal worth buying. Name me one person on. Well, actually, you can name me one. So that's a fair. Name me. They couldn't even sell Xhaka.
But see that. But I'm saying you had said Xhaka was doing good, and he did good in the Euro.
He has been,
right?
But nobody's buying him for 20 mil,
right?
He's not like he's good for Arsenal. It doesn't mean he's 20 mil at his age and where he's going. Because do you think a middle of the team France, say like a Bordeaux, can afford him right now? No, they can't.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's the only place that he's going. He's not going to another big Premier League team. He's not going to a big.
Well, I didn't say that, did I? I just said in general. Like
nobody wants Arsenal players. They all blow. The only players that are worth a damn there are Tierney, who you guys got in last year, and I will stand by, will be your captain within the next few years. He was not unwell on Friday. Smith Rowe, who you signed to an extension, beautiful. He's fantastic. Pepe is a poor man's Martial by far. He's so hot and cold, like it's insane. Willian, he's still on the team, by the way.
Yeah, he got a new walker this season.
You guys sold the wrong short sleeve keeper, and we're about to spend an obnoxious amount on Ramsdale. Your back line, I like the Ben White signing a lot, but he looked lost as hell on Friday, and I don't know if pairing him with that center back pairing's right. Dare I say, put him with another Englishman and play old man Rob holding it and Ben White together. I think that might actually get you a little bit more. You really haven't addressed the right back issue at all. You got nobody at right back. You can play in Nketiah there. You can play Saka if he plays there, maybe. And Partey, in case of the Arsenal bug, always hurt. You guys weren't even that fond on what's his nuts from Real Madrid, Odegaard. You got two players that say they're unwell at the start of the season after they just got their asses handed to them in pre-season. Like it's a dumpster fire at Arsenal.
I think that's kind of an insult to dumpster fires.
Yeah,
but let's
I want Arsenal
fair.
to be good. I really, really do. But they're a mess right now.
Let's be fair. Blake, what are your thoughts? Because we got ample time to talk about our teams.
Well, your question is, will
Arteta
be manager of Arsenal at the end of the season? And I think for me, that's a 50-50. And that is like, because the reason I specifically say 50-50 is not, if they do well, sure. Or if they do poorly, no. I don't mean that. I mean, if Arsenal is a 50-50 season, they will hold on to him longer than they should have. I would also make.
But what does a 50-50 season for you look like?
Oh, we'll turn around and beat,
exactly.
We'll
finishing on
lose
61 points and
yes,
an eighth.
We'll lose to Brentford. I'm not throwing a prediction. I'm just saying, but we'll lose to Brentford and watch tomorrow. Like next week, we'll draw Chelsea or win and should. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it'll be that kind of bull, and that's the same bull that happened all season long, where you'd have an opportunity and then completely bone it. I mean, don't forget, like they had the chance to finally end above Tottenham after the first few years in a couple bit, and they botched that. That's what I mean by 50-50 season. Is that just sort of weirdly inconsistent, which I think is the kind of thing that can limp him on. It was where it's just good enough where or they'll win something like the EFL Cup or the FA Cup maybe, or I don't know. That kind of keeps him going on. Now, that being said, who's available to manage right now? Brendan Rodgers? I don't know that he'd leave Leicester. Why would he leave Leicester right now?
No, and why would James Maddison want to leave there to come to Arsenal? I think he'd be a fantastic signing for him. That's a downgrade for him.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's $80 million, and then I think any of us would say yes.
Who's paying 80? Are you telling me Arsenal's paying $80 million for him?
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
That'd be a fantastic signing for you guys. But they would.
I
would fall out of my chair if they actually dropped $80 million for a player.
Well, they just offered 60, and Leicester says they want 80. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's because they're smart and they know that Arsenal aren't going to pay it.
I think.
Why would you want to go from Champions League or potential
Champions
Arteta
League
in Europe football to Arsenal in 8th?
Forget Arteta. I think Edu is your biggest problem. Well, I think your ownership. You know what? No. Okay.
It's the ownership. We can go down that.
We need to wrap this up. But here's the thing. Is it Wenger's fault? Was it Emery's fault? Is it Arteta's
fault?
I'm not sure. But like you start to reach a point of like, okay.
It's the Kroenke's fault.
Who's the situation in this? And Edu, the new technical, or he's this whole transfer window is showing that he's not so great. Arteta had to fight to get included in that conversation. Don't remember. He was just a coach and not a manager and had to fight for that. So
Arteta also doesn't know what formation to put up from one day or the other or who to play in those. He's all over the place. Anyway, we can go down this hole for 4.
That's also because he's got a patchwork quilt of players.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
None of them really mesh together.
And
it's like somebody threw darts. Like picked players.
With this,
like what's the unwell thing?
So,
like
this is but for your Arteta question, here's my problem. What manager walks into this, as Ron said, patchwork group of players and does well right now?
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He did it at United.
No,
he's
didn't.
Not leaving.
We had years.
But it was. I sent you guys an article the other day. Did I not?
In hindsight, yes, but he definitely had times where people were like, "This dude's gonna go."
Well, he also had money.
He had
Arsenal
money.
Don't have any money to spend.
Nope. There you go. It's all PSG and Man City. Moving on to 9th. In 59th place, we have Leeds. Marcelo Bielsa is the manager. Notable ends, Jack Harrison from Man City and
On permanent.
Junior Firpo from Barcelona. Notable outs, Ferris, that's all you.
Oh, first name? Nope. Aliassi is his last name. And Pablo. Ezgin. God bless you.
And then Pablo Hernandez. Another top 10 finish for Leeds?
Nah. Sure, because I can't think of anybody else that's really going to be in the top 10.
You know what? Yeah, like, but maybe 9 or 10. I mean, like, we're literally right there.
They're going to be somewhere between 9 and 12, I feel like. I mean, they got their butts handed to them yesterday, but I don't think that's indicative of fully how the season's going to go for them.
I don't know, man. Don't forget the Sheffield, like, great first year, and then
true,
poof,
very true.
They could go the ways of last
or not even them. Was it Bournemouth that first year, or who was the first year that they stormed up the table?
What wasn't it Norwich? Because
Norwich have always been
no. Like a couple of years ago, Norwich was good for almost half the season, and then once people figured out how to play them, that was the end.
I think Blake's right. I think it was Sheffield from a few years back where they looked like they could be in Europe their first year because it was that like weird hybrid center backs doing overlapping runs and kind of took the Premier League off guard for a good bit. I just think that Leeds, with their talent and where they finished last year, and I think that's about where they're going to finish, anywhere between 9 and 12.
I could see that. At 10th, tied on 59 points, was Everton, who their manager now, Rafael Benitez. Notable ins, again, Rafael Benitez was the big in. Andros Townsend from Crystal Palace and Damari Gray from Leverkusen. Notable outs were Theo Walcott went to Southampton. Bernard went to Sharjah, and Joshua King went to Watford. It's actually a good pick, good get for Watford there. Will Benitez make a big impact and move Everton back into the likes of Europe?
The Europa Conference League or whatever that is in 7th. That's where I think they'll finish.
I think Benitez is going to be good for Everton.
Oh, yes. 100%.
Ask me that question next year. I think it's going to take a little bit, but I do think they're going to have a better season.
I mean, you're like Europe traditionally is the top 6. Do I think they're going to finish top 6? No. I think they could finish in the 7th in that Conference League place.
Yeah, they'll be fighting Tottenham for it. Prediction previews.
Here we go.
Ron, did you get yours in on that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was a pretty. Yeah, I think we all kind of agree on that one. Next up, Aston Villa manager Dean Smith. Ends are Ashley Young, Leon Bailey. Ashley Young coming from Inter Milan via Man United. Leon Bailey, Bayer Leverkusen, and Danny Ings. That's a good one.
It's a good signing.
He did have a score in their defeat. Notable outs: Jack Grealish to Man City. Without Grealish, top 10.
Nope.
Relegation?
No, I think
no, not relegation.
I think they're 14, 15, 13, 14, 15.
Relegation the following year. I got you. I understand what you're saying. That's for our buddy Matt Call.
Hey, I think that I by far am the person hardest on Aston Villa, and I think this year they're going to hang on, and unless they make some remarkable changes, it's not going to happen for them the following.
Moving on, keeping it going. Newcastle.
I think.
Oh, sorry.
I think real quick. Sorry. I think that they can actually push for a top 10 place. Probably finish about where they ended right here.
Well, I mean, they were at 11, so yeah, maybe. They
I heard their owner something come out, and after the selling of Jack Grealish, said that they're spending those funds, and they essentially got in Leon Bailey and Danny Ings, essentially 2 players for the Predator. So one, he talked about that and why, and I think just his explanation and coming out and explaining that to the fans, I think is good. And for me, that kind of gives them a clear path of what they want to do. So do I think it's going to take them to any sort of Europe success or anything like that? No, I think 11th and 12th is about where the finish is slightly higher than what
and modern age West Brom Albion is what you're saying. That nice little middle table. Ending the season in 12th last year, Newcastle finished with 45 points. Manager Steve Bruce. Notable wins just happened. Joe Willock from Arsenal. He was really good for them last year. No notable outs to mention. Will Newcastle survive relegation once again? Yeah, I think so. Probably.
Sure.
I think kind of in this 12th-ish spot seems realistic.
I'm thinking 15th, 16th.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. I think you're in the 15, 16, 17 range.
But I can see that. As we went to 13th, lucky 13, we have Wolves. They finished on 45 points. Manager Bruno Lage. I'm so bad with these names. I really should look these up. Notable ends, Francesco Ferris.
Trinka.
Thank you, Ron.
I think that's
loan
a bit
from
better
Barcelona.
than I could have possibly said.
Ryan Nori from the Angers, and notable outs, Nuno Espirito Santo over to Tottenham, the manager, and then Rio Patricio to Roma.
Patricio.
So question of the season, new manager and number one goalie gone. Will Wolves be relegated?
Yup.
I don't think they'd be relegated.
I don't have them in my pick.
I don't have them. I don't think I'm not gonna have them in my pick either. But when you lose your manager and your number one goalie, that's taking a big spine out of the team. And
I think if they don't get relegated, they get lucky, and we have some clubs that I think this is a good possibility.
That are worse than them.
Have just really abysmal seasons. Yes, it's not because Wolves do well, but because I think there are teams that are worse. Speaking of.
Agreed.
That brings us to Crystal Palace on 44 points. Manager Patrick Vieira. Notable wins, manager Patrick Vieira. Conor Gallagher on loan from Chelsea, and Nathaniel Klein on a free. Outs. And here's the problem. Roy Hodgson, Andrews Townsend to Everton, Patrick Van Aanholt was released, Gary Cahill released, and James McCarthy over to the Celtics. And then one question for the season. Will the Arsenal legend lead Palace into the top half of the table? No.
Yeah. He's going to lead them to those awesome places that are 18th, 19th, and 20th. And Palace going down, in my opinion.
I'm not too far behind.
Playing Chelsea yesterday had zero attacking teeth. And I can't say that it's because the Chelsea defense was pretty good with our midfield protecting our back line. But there was just... they panicked under pressure so much. They gave the ball away. They didn't look hungry. They were second to every ball that was a 50-50 ball. So I don't really see them doing all that well this year.
This is why I don't want Arteta to get canned. Do you know why? I feel like if he's got a terrible first half of the season, and it will take up through December, I think, they can him, and they'll hire that's when they'll go after Patrick Vieira, and that's who closes out.
Oh, that's literally adding fuel to the dumpster
But
fire.
when I say it, the thing is, I said it, and you didn't go, no, that's not going to happen.
You're right. I disagree with
you actually your soul accepted it.
Yeah.
You accepted that was a possibility, and that is where, in a weird way, I want Arteta to not get canned, because I think it could be worse. Woof. So there you go. Crystal Palace. Over in 15th, we've got, we're about to get to Ron in a minute as we get to our new clubs, but 15th, Southampton finished on 43 points. Manager Ralph Hasenhult. Notable ends, Theo Walcott. Man, hope that kid can do well. Romain, he's coming in from Everton via Arsenal. Romain Perrault from Brest.
And there's another one that he scored yesterday, Adam Armstrong. I forgot to put on there.
Yeah.
A good signing from a championship club.
But their notable outs are Yannick Vestergaard to Leicester City, Ryan Bertrand to Leicester, and Danny Ings to Aston Villa.
Again,
here's the question.
Just like Wolves, the spine gone.
Will the loss of Ings result in Southampton going down this season? Well, Blake's predictions, I will hold off because they might be in my predictions.
Yeah, I'll hold off mine too. I think it's going to be dodgy for him, though.
Ron?
I don't think Southampton always have a way. Year after year after year, you're like, nope, they're going down. They're a shit squad. They're a more squad this year than they were last year. But for some reason, they always find a way to cling.
Do you know why I disagree? I think one of the ways they found to cling was Danny Ings.
And the Estacard being back there.
Yes. So, yeah, we'll see.
Oof. Who knows?
Moving down to 16th, we have Brighton and Hove Albion. They finished on 41 points. Manager, Graham Potter. What a gent. Notable ends, Enik Mapu. Did I say it right? From RP Salzburg. And
I think so.
Kjell Scherpen, right? From Ajax.
Sure.
Notable outs, Jose Izquierdo was released. David Proper for PSV, and Ben White was the big one over to Arsenal.
Hang on.
And then will Brighton be in the Premier League next season? I
don't think so.
I didn't.
I don't. Yeah.
I didn't put them in my picks.
Really?
Nope.
Okay.
I have somebody else in there, but
interesting.
But I do.
History.
I do think that it is a possibility. It's not who I picked, but I'm not saying it's beyond the realm of possibility, because it certainly is. But they have managed to hold on to, as Ron mentioned. Burnley, they managed to finish 17th with the dangerous 39 points, not getting over the 40 hump. Manager, Sean Dyche. Notable ends, Nathan Collins, Stoke, Wayne Hennessy from Crystal Palace. And notable outs, Robbie Brady released. Will Burnley reach 40 points this season? Boy, I can see them ending right where they are right now with 38.
Mm-hmm.
And Ron's got them out.
We're getting a good feel for what.
Yeah, so
Ron's
there you
might be.
go. Arsenal will get Sean Dyche to coach. That's what's going to happen. Newly promoted teams this year are Brentford, Norwich City, and Watford, who all had terrible openings. Oh wait, no. Brentford didn't opening to the Premier League. So Ron, talk to us about our newly promoted clubs.
Okay, so two of which have been in the Premier League in pretty recent history, so I'll speed through those. Norwich City FC, also known as the Yellows or the Canaries. They were founded in June of 1902.
Love their kids.
And for you,
good year.
Those of you doing the math at home, that's 119 years ago. Their home ground is Carrow Road, and they love playing in that yellow and green kit. There's not a lot to say about them. We're all pretty familiar with them. They were down last year, but up the year before, 2 years before. I think the person that's a miracle they were able to hold on to was Pookie. He managed to stay with them throughout the entirety of their Premier League and then down season. But they're a fun team to watch, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say about those guys.
A lot riding on Pookie, I think.
Oh, and who was their newest signing? U.S. American International, Josh Sargent.
Oh,
yep,
that's correct.
Thank you. Watford. Watford, we're all pretty familiar with too. They've been up for the past couple of years. Watford Football Club, nicknamed the Hornets or the Golden Boys or the Yellow Army. They were founded in 1891. That's 140 years ago. But they were the Watford Rovers at the time. Their home ground, Vicarage Road, the capacity of 22,200 fans can live there, and they play in those awesome black and yellow kits. And again, I'm not going to go into a lot of their stuff because they've been up and down so much. Yeah. We're all pretty familiar with them. But that brings us to Jack the Giant Killer for the first week.
Yeah.
The Brentford Football Club.
God, what an atmosphere there.
Yeah, did you hear their chant to Arsenal? You're just a Tottenham.
Which is pretty brilliant. Pretty brilliant. Brentford Football Club. The nickname is the Bees. And the reason the nickname is the Bees is because essentially the club was founded and played in 1889 as I was saying. Did I say that already? I speed through it. Sorry.
I don't think you said that quite yet.
The club was founded in October of 1889, which is 131 years ago. So when the club was founded in 1889, they played home matches at a place called Griffin Park. and their main rivals were West London clubs like Fulham and Queen's Park Rangers. And the reason they got the nickname Bees is because a whole bunch of university students went to cheer on one of their friends who got signed on to the team. And as they were leaving, or as they were losing, the college or the university people just started chanting "Buck up Bees," meaning Brentford.
Right.
But the press got a hold of that and nicknamed them the Bees. So that's how essentially that name stuck in the press, and the press ended up making them the Bees. So they're a pretty historied team. They
excited. It's an exciting club to have in. I feel like it's been a long.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. Their owner, so they play at the Brentford Community Stadium in London.
It's new, right?
Yep.
Sorry.
17,250 capacity. Their head coach is Thomas Frank, and they're going to be a fun team to watch. And I say that because I feel like out of most of the teams that have been promoted in the past, I'm going to be so bold as to say 5 seasons of promoted teams, I feel like these guys have the most heart.
They've got
and
a
that's
very
saying something.
Yeah.
And that's saying something because teams like Bournemouth and Burnley, who have a ton of heart, there's just something about these guys that they're having fun and they have nothing to lose, right?
They give me
everyone's
a vibe of Sheffield on their first promoted year a couple of years ago.
I bet, yeah.
Like that kind of vibe, just like you said, tons of heart, and kind of like how Bournemouth, their first year that was fun is they didn't change their style of play at all when they came to Premier League. These guys are just throwing down. They look fun.
Well, and something that I think might be forgotten here, and something that I think is going to be a big benefit for them, fans in the stadium. If they can get points and they can win those home games like they did on Friday night, they give themselves a chance of staying up for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to be a ton of fun to watch. And I think also they're one of the teams in the Premier League that doesn't have any rivals in the Premier League.
Yeah, true. I guess they don't. They're just another London club.
So, that helps them out a little bit. I think it's going to be fun to watch them.
Up the Bees.
Up the Bees.
I want a shirt that says the Bees Knees with their logo on it.
All I know is that they definitely stung Arsenal.
Yeah.
Ooh, there it is.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Well,
for you.
So there you go. So on that, we're on to our predictions.
Oh,
I'm going to play a fun sound.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's up to our predictions. Yeah. You know it. You love it. It's that time where we see how bad we are at predicting the future of the Premier League and how things are going to end. We're going to do a top 4. We're going to do Golden Boot. We're going to talk first manager sacked, getting relegated, and our Leicestershire prediction. Again, Ferris.
Love it.
That is an underdog positive.
Don't come on. Give me a chance here.
Can we add to this? We leave this out every time.
Okay.
And I don't think about it until later.
Okay.
But we should also talk about the Golden Glove.
I don't. It just if you want to, I just don't think it's as big of a.
It's a hard one to.
It usually, because and reason being, it usually goes to the keeper that won the league.
Yeah, it rarely goes out of that.
Where Golden Boot, Harry Kane was a Golden Boot, and they finished in 7th. Like the Golden Boot, I feels like more up in the air than the Golden Glove. I mean,
And not a fair way, because they will. Like, there are probably goalkeepers who have a better season, but if they don't win it, yeah, I agree.
I'm just saying, we've slacked on goalkeepers in all the leagues forever.
Are you talking about
Alisson a lot of credit last year for what he went through and that goal that he scored?
Yeah, we certainly got to hear about De Gea back when he used to be good a whole lot from Ferris.
Like De Gea for what now? Sorry,
back when De Gea used to be good, we heard a lot about him from Ferris.
Hey, listen, he has 1-0 right now, baby.
He's yep.
And that goal was not his fault. That was actually a very well taken goal by I don't remember who scored it. But
all right, gents, well, we got it. We have our top 4, which we always end up talking about our top 6, but we have our top 4. Do we have to open it to a top 7 at some point because the new Europe champion whatever league thing?
Oh, that's funny.
All right, top 4. Ferris, what do you got?
In order.
Go in order, correct. I will go Manchester United. Number 1, reclaiming what is rightfully ours.
I knew you were going to say
I say that.
Lame.
Manchester City, number 2.
What?
Liverpool, number 3.
What?
And Chelsea, number 4.
Wow.
All right. Well, I disagree.
I figured as much.
All right. So here's my input, Ferris, because you're the keeper of the records. For me, my top 4. Number 1, Chelsea. Number 2.
Really? Are
Yep.
you going with another Arsenal or another London club?
I am.
Right.
I believe in Tuchel. I don't want to, but I do. Okay. Number 2, Man City. Number 3, Man United. Number 4, Liverpool. Barely, because I think 5th is Leicester by a very tight margin.
Yeah, I'm kind of in there with you. Interesting. Senor Ron.
Manchester United in first, as much as it pains me to say.
I always knew you were my favorite in this group.
I picked Chelsea and you picked Man U.
Not more because of the players, less because of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Chelsea in second, Man City in third.
That would be beautiful.
Liverpool in 4.
I would love to see Man City drop all this money and be in 3rd, 4th, or 5th. That won't happen, probably.
You said Chelsea were number 2, Ron? Is that what you said?
Yep, Chelsea second.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay,
that's right. Man City 3, Liverpool 4.
Sorry, I was this West Ham and Newcastle game is a doozy. It's 2-2 right now. West Ham just scored to tie it up in the 53rd.
Nice.
Sorry, that's why I was a little distracted.
All good. So that brings us to our golden boot. What do you guys think?
Oh, this is a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
Because if Harry Kane, I just mixed those two completely. If Sir Harry of Kane goes to Man City, I mean, it'd be tough to say that he doesn't get golden boot with the way that they play. If he stays at Tottenham, he can still get golden boot because that's what he did last year. I'm gonna go Homer as hell here.
You're going to go Fernandez, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll go Bruno.
Yeah. Hello, Bruno.
Hello, Bruno.
Yep.
I mean, he scored a hat trick if you didn't know yesterday, but I like how they flow. I think more importantly than Fernandez scoring 3, I don't think I've ever seen somebody play a ball like Pogba does. His passing is sublime.
This year and for now.
Yeah, well.
He is by far the best inconsistent player in the Premier League.
It has in years past. I think he also works a lot off the talent that's around him. Look what he did for France. He's brilliant when he plays for France.
He's brilliant when he wants to be and when he's happy.
But when he kind of came in,
he sucks.
Yeah, but he was good when Ibra was here, and we had some other signings. But then for a while we didn't, and now that we have some decent signings, and Sancho being there, and a fellow Frenchman in Varane being at the back with the big lad Harry, I think he might. I think he's going to have a hell of a year, but I think Fernandez might take the golden boot. I'll take it because he also takes the pens too, so I'm taking that into account.
I think because they don't have the defense they did, and they're going to have to throw as much. To quote John Madden, they got to score more than the other team. I'm going to go back with a recent oldie and go with Salah as golden boot. So I think
Salah.
there's going to be a lot more aggressive going for the goal out of Liverpool this year.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I have to agree with Blake. That's my choice too, Mohamed Salah. Last year, he had one less goal than Harry Kane. Kane had 23. He had 22. Yesterday, when they played, Salah had so many good chances and just dragged them slightly wide or slightly high, made the keeper save them. I think Salah is a very good contender for a Golden Boot this year.
Okay.
So next up is our first manager sacked.
Ooh, I'll start this one off.
I know who you got.
Go ahead and say it.
Mikel Arteta?
Yep.
You're wrong, but all right.
I'm wrong often, so.
I am really torn. I'm really torn because I think that between Arteta at Arsenal and Hodgson at Crystal Palace.
He's not there.
You mean Vieira?
When did he leave?
No, Patrick Vieira. What are you talking about? Patrick Vieira is coach of Crystal Palace.
I'm sorry. I'm smoking crack. Crack. Sorry. Then it's clearly Arteta.
Ron, I really hope that was the most brilliant setup that you ever had.
It was totally a setup. It was totally a setup.
You guys
play it off in that way.
Are both wrong. Because the first manager sacked is going to be Xisco Munoz, the coach of Watford. Would you guys like to know why that's the case? Because
they changed out. Yeah,
hold on. Wait, Ferris. Just wait. Let's go back to June of 2011. Let's do a 10-year count here, a decade. Sean Dyche, that's him that year. Okay. Sean Dyche, 2011. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 16 managers in the decade. And to be fair, some of them were caretakers, like interims. You know how many were? You guys know how many interim caretakers there were? Oh, that's 16?
24.
Just 2.
I'm going to say...
sorry, just 2. That's it. So I'm saying those are 14 fully appointed managers. 2 caretakers. 16 total. I think it's Watford just because their ownership is like trigger happy.
I mean, listen, I respect you for, you know what? Just go with the odds there, and you're playing the
money
odds.
Ball.
That's fair enough.
I'm going to moneyball it.
Fair enough.
Does that get us to relegation? Who's going to get relegated?
Dun, 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 dun. Yep.
I'll go first for that one. I'll get Norwich, Southampton, and Crystal Palace.
Hold on a second.
I have picked Southampton so many years, and I'm eventually going to get it right.
Southampton
and Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. Okay.
I keep picking Southampton, and I keep hanging on. But I'm going to get it right
I
this time.
just like that Blake is stubborn picking Southampton.
Well, once you took Danny Ings
for
out,
so long, he's bound to get right.
I feel like I'm more likely to be right this time.
Okay, I'm going to say Wolves, Burnley, Brighton.
Oh.
I'll go Palace, Brighton. Norwich.
Norwich, all right. Gotta say Norwich or Lee Malby's going to make fun of us.
Because they are known for coming up and going back down the very next season. Like that they enjoy doing that. Like it's fun for them. It's like the bi-yearly tradition that like they it's just that's what Norwich does. They like it. They have fun with it. Like they have a great season. They top the league. They're number 1 in the championship. They come up. Just go right back down and have some more fun down there. Hey, we had fun here. Let's go back up for a year. That's what Norwich does. So that's what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
And this gets
my rationale anyways.
To our Leicester-ish predictions.
Blake, you go first because we're going to argue about Ferris's. So you should go last.
All right. Leicester position, an underdog kind of situation. Arsenal in the top 4, baby. That's my Leicestershire prediction. That's Leicestershire.
You know what's really sad?
Yeah, that's weird
is
that you
that's
say that.
true.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I can't argue it.
I love you guys are both like, well, actually,
yeah,
underdogs in the top 4.
I'm going to go probably with the most wild Leicester-ish projection that we've ever had. Brentford in the Europa League.
Oh, I like it though.
Yeah, that's a Leicester prediction.
Right, that's the point.
Sheffield was close.
That was.
Yeah.
I think I had that one right.
Yeah, they were close.
No, I'm just kidding.
That got you in hot water last time.
Oh man, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't put a great deal of thought into this.
Okay. Clearly.
Hold on, let me look at the Leicester's prediction here.
You're going to say something negative. I can tell it.
I'm literally at a loss because I don't.
You don't have an
Ferris,
underdog
you had an
prediction?
extra week to prepare.
Okay, so what if this is you guys are going to hate me for this, but Arsenal get relegated.
That's not. Damn it! Damn it!
Hey, like them apples.
You gotta learn what Leicester's prediction means.
I know. I purely said that.
I completely reject that one. I mean, it's totally possible, but it's not a Leicester-ish projection.
But okay, now my question, in all seriousness, the question is: does it have to necessarily pertain to the Premier League, or can it be a Premier League team and/or player affecting Europe? So I'm between two right now.
I'm down.
If I'm going Leicester-ish. So hear me out for a second. Bruno Fernandes wins the Ballon d'Or, or Chelsea repeat as Champions League. See what I'm saying? It involves the Premier League, but both dealing with Europe. And
I mean, is that Leicester's though? Is that
game,
Leicester's? Because Leicester won the Premier League, and no one expected 5,000-1 odds.
And Chelsea to repeat in the Champions League.
But they did just win it.
Say what?
But they did just win it. So that ain't 5,000-1 odds.
There hasn't been a team that has done that since Bayern maybe or Barca. I mean, Ron, pull up the stat. Like the odds aren't in their favor whatsoever. Now, Bruno, I think winning the Ballon d'Or, definitely not in the odds because
how much hardware has Man United won under Ole?
We won the respect of the fans.
Maybe that should be your Leicester prediction: is you actually get a piece of hardware with Ole, like an FA Cup or something.
No, because I'll just stick with Arsenal being relegated.
Hey, Arteta got one of them. Ole still does.
Yeah, how's that going for you? I like United's chances a hell of a lot more. So a hell of a lot brighter.
Back-to-back wins. Real Madrid won the 2015-2016.
Okay, so Bayern.
2016-2017, 2017-2018. Liverpool took 2018-2019. Bayern Munich took 2019-2020. And then Chelsea took 2020-21. So you don't have to go you don't have to go back very far before you start seeing a gigantic list of teams that won Champions League back to back.
Well, wait. The way you just read that, the Champions League, the Real Madrid are still the only back to back winners.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
From 2015. Is that what you're saying? No, sorry.
2015 season, then the 2015, 2016, 2017.
Gotcha. I got you. I see it. Yeah,
they were the
Oh, they had three in a row. I see.
They three-peated.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that's pretty recent, Ferris.
What I'm saying is Ferris's line of
right.
Not many people you got to go back a long ways before somebody won back to back. You only have to go back.
True.
3 seasons.
Here's a Leicester-ish prediction for you. Everton make the top 4.
I like that.
Okay, that's finally.
That's a good one.
Congratulations.
That's a good Rafa
I'm still
one.
sticking by Arsenal get relegated.
I'm still sticking by Chelsea back to back on the Champions League.
I think it's tough. Oh, it's now 4-2 in the West Ham game. They've scored. Oh my lord, this game's out of control.
Who's doing all the scoring?
Antonio just scored this one.
So West Ham have scored 3. Cresswell, Benrahma, and Soucek have scored for them. Newcastle.
Antonio just put one in.
Yep, Newcastle, Callum Wilson, and Jacob Murphy.
That's
That'll
the
be
game
a
of the weekend.
6-goal match right there.
We'll see how Spurs and Man City line up. All right, gents. Well, that got us all our predictions in. We've got a new Premier League season to enjoy. Shortly, we'll have a Ron in the studio with us to talk about it live.
I can't wait.
That'll be so fun.
Nice T-flats trip
A
beforehand.
little
and then
T-flats, a little pie for some Premier League mornings. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Good Premier League morning. Though I meant to share the other day, Blake, you know what popped up on my Facebook timeline of like 3 years ago?
What's that?
The
mugs?
It's actually our cover. Yeah.
Yeah, with our
mugs
American and British
watching.
mugs, doing our Premier League breakfast morning. Yeah, we got to do that, man. Nothing like pies and Guinness early in the morning.
Oh,
Fantastic.
that's the best.
Yep. All right,
And
folks.
I can't wait for Boxing Day. Oh,
Boxing Day. I know. Missed our Boxing Day with all our Christmas beers.
When is Boxing Day? Hopefully it's not on a Sunday.
I don't know. I don't know
I
off
don't
the
have
top
to
of my
work.
head.
But anyways.
We'll figure it out and make it happen. All right, folks. Well, what do you got?
Sorry. Premier League Fantasy.
Oh, and our Premier League Fantasy has
You can
launched.
still sign up.
Yes, you
It
can
is on
still
our
sign
Twitter
up.
page. We have, I think, the biggest outcome that we've had thus far. So thank you. Good
Yeah,
luck to
we have
whoever
a lot of people.
gets first. A lot of people.
I am killing it so far
Well, I give you 3 weeks.
Yep.
because I'm doing way worse this year than ever. I completely forgot to set the team. Even though Blake sent me the best reminder and was like, look, dude, you got to finish this. And I was like,
Yeah.
yep, you're right. I'm on it right now.
It's gonna happen.
So pissed with you and Timo Werner and Chelsea. I made him my captain yesterday, and I had Bruno in my team, but should have made him my captain.
I had Bruno and almost captained him and didn't. Yeah, I was pretty annoyed about that as well.
Boxing Day is on a Sunday.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Address it when the time comes.
That's right.
Why can't it be on a Sunday?
If NFL season's going on, I might be screwed, which it is during that time.
Will you be unwell?
I will not be unwell. I will have prior commitments that is paying my salary.
Paying the bills.
Unless I can
just
ask
saying.
off now for Boxing Day, which is what I might have to do. I might have to ask off now.
I was just trying to get the joke in there.
I know you were, and I appreciate it, and I respect it coming from a non-Arsenal fan.
All right. Well, hey, when Arsenal win in a couple of weeks against Man United, we'll talk then, Ferris.
Oh, that's 100% going to happen. Because you and I both know it's going to happen. They'll lose to Brentford, Norwich, Crystal Palace, Brighton, but then beat United like 5-4. And you're like, well, what the hell?
It's true. I can't. It's not even a joke. It's absolutely what'll happen.
Yep.
And
they'll
then-
be the best. They'll take out all the top 4 or top 6 teams, and then they'll lose to Southampton.
14 other
Because
teams,
since
yep.
December, no
13
team has scored more points than Arsenal other than
That's your dad joke. End it. That's your dad joke.
Okay.
End it.
That's it. It's
Well,
over.
thank
That's
you
a
all
dad
for
joke.
joining us for another kickoff of the Premier League on the Brewtiful Game. Check us out at thebrutifulgame.com. Follow us on Facebook, on Twitter. Follow us on Untapped especially. And I think that pretty much wraps us all up. The last thing I have is a dad joke of the day. Guys, what concert costs just 45 cents?
Arsenal Football Club.
No, the concert featuring 50 Cent and Nickelback.
That actually was pretty good. I'll give you that one.
I wanted to start
Threw a little math in there, a little comedy.
To start this season off with a really bad one, and I think I've achieved that. That's pretty bad.
That's one of your better ones, though. Oddly enough, Ron's about to poke his eyes out right now.
Here we go, Jets. Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brewtiful Game. Cheers.